the video, the recordings of in the big blue button. I would like first to share the cut. A majority of you have got all the questions correctly. Now Kennedy is asking whether what he should have done. I think Kennedy, you should have contacted me later when you are available, and also Asuron, you should have contacted me later when you are available. Now I'll give you that option for you to contact me after the class, or maybe after we are done with the big blue button, and you're done doing the discussion forum questions. Because it's a revision class, then maybe we can agree. Maybe from 11 you can do the cut so that you test yourself. I'll give you the same questions, questions from the same topics, not the same questions. Then we can see how to move ahead. So for now, I'll focus on the questions that most people, okay, not most, just 2 people got wrong. But I just want us to review the questions from last time, all of them. Let me share my screen for that purpose. And I'm not sure you can hear me. Anna has logged off. Okay, let me share my screen. I hope now you can see my screen. So this was the first question. Now, before I start speaking of things that people cannot see, please type whether you can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Let me move a bit slowly. You can't see. Yet you can't see. They are tiny. No, okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's because I'm shifting between tabs. But the moment I settle into the right one, the moment I settle into the correct screen, you will see it. Yeah, as long as you can see things moving, it's okay. Asuron, welcome. It's been a while. You disappeared into thin air. All right. As long as you can see something, it's okay. Kennedy, you're yet to reply whether you can see anything, even the tiny ones. If you're not able to type quickly, you can just switch on your mic and say whether you can hear. You can see, sorry. Anna, can you see my screen? The tiny ones, the tiny mini screens. I'll just switch to the correct one. Okay, it looks like people do not have very stable. Let me move on because majority are saying they can see. All right. So I've switched tab. Now you should be seeing the cut now, your marks. So there are only 4 people who did. Anna attempted twice. Tabitha attempted the next day, as you can see. These are the results from my end. These are your marks at the end. This is the total marks, these ones on this line, written grade. It was just out of 10. So these are the grades. Now I would like to begin with this first question. Let me see whether I can share this one, whether that's what's showing on your end. Let me begin with just a minute. Yes, the review of questions. I should be seeing question 1. Question 1 should be coming to you. Yes. The question is, choose the technique through which the supply chain logistics system could be integrated for effective performance. 2 marks. So the correct technique for integration is not ethical purchasing. This is who answered this way. Okay, let me not be loud about that. Okay, the correct one is not. Ethical purchasing is a good technique, but it is not for integration. This question is from topic 1, integrated supply chain logistics, and the correct answer is number 4, supply chain coordination, because we are dealing with a supply chain coordination. All right, let me do away with that one. and then move to another question. The next question that had a problem is this one. Just a minute. Should be coming to you now. Yes, you should be seeing it now. What do we mean by matching demand with supply in supply management? You see, it's a very specific question to supply management. What do we mean by matching demand with supply in supply management? In other things, it can mean other other you can have other definitions, but in supply management, we said we have a topic called matching demand with supply. I think it's topic 3. In that topic, we said that what we will be discussing is inventory control, not demand management. In economics, matching demand with supply, you have to draw a few graphs. In our case, in the area of supplies, where you're distributing goods from up one point to the other, to customers or to the end user, then what we need for us to match demand and supply is a good inventory control system. So what it means is inventory control. This is the most basic question in that topic. If you do not understand that matching demand with supply, it means inventory control, most of the exam questions concerning demand and so on and so forth, you will get them wrong. So this is the most basic question in that regard. And the other question I also asked, the first one, where I asked what is the technique you use to integrate inventory control? So that is also the most basic question in integrated supply chain logistics. It's about coordination. Topic 1 we learn about. Topic 2 we basically learn about coordination. Remember, topic 1 is about the introduction to supply chain. I don't think I had a question on that. All right, let me share the other question with you. Question 3. Here it is. This was about matching a matching question where you're supposed to match the correct answers. Let me see, it should be appearing on your screen anytime now. Yes, should be there now. All right, the question asks, the supply department interacts with other departments in the organization to form synergies for good performance. Oh yeah, this is now about topic 1. Match the following departments with the correct interactions. This one answered all of them correctly. There were a few options here. So this is finance department, and the correct activity is management of supply activities with their budget. Production department is what they basically do with the supply department is the scheduling of deliveries. The housing department, they interact by scheduling of transportation and transportation documents. So you are correct. Your answer is correct. It was written here. The correct answer is finance department, management of supply activities, budget, production department, scheduling of deliveries, warehousing department, scheduling of transportation of goods. This is the most common question, and this is the reason why we do topic 1, just to know how they interact. At the end of topic 1, this is what you should know: how supply interacts with every other department. I chose the 3 most important departments to a supply department: finance because of the money, production because they will need continuous flow of materials, and warehousing department because they are important to ensure materials arrive at the right time. The final question was an essay. Yeah, let me just do just as question. This one will be fine. And then let me share my screen. Should be appearing anytime now. Or it should have appeared now. Taking a bit of time. Let me reshare because it's taking a bit of time. Right, okay. Let me just refresh my screen. Just a minute. Let me see what the problem is, because this question will be very important for me. Give it a bit of time. All right, it's there. Should be showing now. The question is, explain 5 factors that make a racking system to be preferred over other systems of storage. Explain 5 factors that make a racking system to be preferred over other systems of storage. The rack is a wooden support system of where you place materials off the ground. For example, if you want to store maize in a warehouse, like I'm using maize because more often than not, it's the most common thing that is stored in homesteads and houses. When you're storing maize, you usually want them not to be on the floor so that they are not affected by water. So you lift them off by placing them on wood. The wood system, the one with a bit of spaces between the wood, is called a rack. I was asking, why is it preferred over other systems? Now, definitely, since it's wood, it's cheap to make, it's easy to use. Now, I want to pick that point of ease of use. Someone said in the answer that it requires no skill. I don't think there's anything that requires no skill. What it requires is minimum skill. So when you write no skill, you're wrong, but minimum skill, you're right. But I think I still gave them correct in that one. Just, it's the first time that they had written that. Then it is well, I don't like this answer of flexibility, but anyway, it is acceptable because the explanation is good. And it maximizes space. You can place a lot of items on one wooden rack, and a rack has many types. Yeah, you have a driving rack. You can use it easily, and it also makes your work of carrying very easy, because if you're using a material handling system that allows you, that is mechanical, you don't have to pick the bag of the maize. You just have to pick the rack itself and place it somewhere else. The rack itself and place it on a vehicle for transport. So it makes transportation and material handling very, very easy, among other points. That is the end of that one. Let me now get back to our class today. Let me share my screen. On that, today is this topic that you have covered a million times, to take us the least time possible. Our topic is materials handling. The most important thing is to remember, please, at the end, attempt the questions. There are only 3 questions today in the discussion forum, and since materials handling you have done so many times, you can answer those questions very, very, very fast. Now, material handling is the basic science of movement of materials. It is that science, and also a bit of art, but mostly science of moving goods. Why is it more of a science? It's because it needs techniques. You need a system to work with. It is not perfect. It is not perfect because materials still get damaged, some lost, some are broken within the system. The key thing is to remember the following types of material handling systems. You can have either manual, that is in a very, very small warehouse. Mechanized is the most common, and I remember having a video. I will look for a good video for this and then show you just before the end of this big blue button of a mechanized material handling system, so that I can remind you what I projected in class when you were in P209. Mechanized system is the most common where you use machines, use forklifts. Forklifts is the most common. type of machine that we use for material handling. Automated system mostly use robots and just computers to move materials from point A to point B. They basically move on their own without a lot of human interference. Principles of material handling. This is another thing that you need to remember. We have a planning principle. You have to have a plan so that items do not collide in the warehouse. Work principle. Minimize your work as much as possible. Automated systems are the easiest to use. However much they're expensive, they are very, very easy to use. So minimize your work as much as possible. Let you have very little labor, if any. Economic principle is let the machines use the human capabilities. For example, I've just mentioned you pick the rack and place it on a vehicle. Picking, you can do it with your hands, so you make the machine do what your hands can do. Unit load principle. You should carry materials that are not overloaded. That is the basic concept. So carry appropriate sizes to avoid falling off and breakages. Space utilization, use it efficiently and effectively. Do not let the aisles not be too big, neither too small, just enough for a machine to move from one end to the other, and that will be enough. The machines don't have, to have lanes inside the warehouse such that one is moving right, the other one is moving left. You just need to have one lane is enough. System principle that the whole material handling system should work as one. The whole material handling, the whole warehouse should work in one system, such that this aisle is for moving right, this one is for moving left, and that becomes very, very easy. Environment, consider the environment. That is something that you will find in almost any kind of system, that it has to consider the environment. And then life cycle cost. First of all, this is the issue of cost. Cost should be economic in whatever system you're doing, in the whole entire life cycle of material handling. I think that is the most important. These others is to remind you that whenever we have a question asking us factors to consider, any question on factors and any question on efficiency. Let me give an example with this one. Factors to consider when choosing a material handling technique. Now, what do you look for? You look for resources. That is what we said. I would like to remind you that one. I've passed through the past papers before we began this class this morning. I've passed through a few past papers and have discovered the most common question in material handling is concerning efficiency. What determines the efficiency of a material handling system? Or another question was asking that a person would like to measure the efficiency of a material handling system. What should they look out for? They should look out for the normal things. That is, let me just type something here. Okay, sorry for that. Let me just type here and then highlight it. Efficiency, we look for the following: labor. Is there a lot of labor? If there is a lot of labor, then it's not efficient. Cost. The cost should be minimal. If there is a lot of cost, then it is not efficient. Time should be minimized. If the time is minimized, it is efficient. Skill or techniques. This is what to look out for when you say that a material handling system is efficient. You look for these resources: the resource of space, the resource of skill, the resource of time, cost, labor. There are 5. That is a direct answer. What are the factors to consider when choosing a material handling technique? Also consider these 5 factors. Consider space, consider labor, consider cost, time, and skills. So this, please do not forget. This is a hack. This is a hack into an answer, a direct answer that I think most probably you'll be asked in the exam. This is just the most direct answer you can ever get. So if you ask a question on efficiency or a question on factors to consider when selecting a material handling system, consider these 5 here: labor, cost, the same answers, just the same answers. The explanation is what varies now for you. Make sure that you explain it correctly, but these answers they remain to be the same. So you will have this question, please. I would like, now you will have this question in the discussion forum. I would like to see how you explain it, because I've already given you the answers anyway, and it's not a problem for me to give you the answers. That's my work here. But make sure that you have a good explanation. Another thing I would like to mention is, and remind you, is always please make sure that you have a point and an explanation. Some of you, your answers in your cards were sentences. Don't leave the examiner to choose for you the point and the explanation. You can put a hyphen. You have a hyphen on your phone or in your computer, the one you're using today, and you'll have it. And you can always use it. Please make use of those hyphens, and everything will be perfect. Let me allow you now to ask questions because I'm done. You can unmute your mics if you have a question or type. Welcome, Tabitha. See, you have joined us. Anybody with a question, a comment? Next week we'll be doing preservation. I'm saying this as I wait for you to type or unmute your mics. Anybody? Okay, if you don't have a question, you can go ahead and attempt the discussion forum. Questions are only 3. I need you to practice using a point and an explanation. A point hyphen explanation. I need you to practice doing that. You may think it's just I'm being too mechanical or I'm being too specific on that, but I need it, because the more you do it, the more it becomes part of you, part of what you do every time. So please, you can go ahead and attempt those questions, because I don't see anybody responding in any way, so that we can move on. Asuron, your mic is on.
Yes, it's a point of concern.
Yes.
It's a bit personal.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
I'm saying it's a bit personal.
You can call me. You can call me after this.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else? All right, then I wish to end it there. Have a wonderful time. And the discussion forum ends at 11. Please answer the questions now, and then you move on. Asuron, you can call me. Kennedy, you can also call me. We agree on maybe when I can give you a few questions to replace the card. Thank you.